Hi, I'm Sarah Bongyak, and I'm the current president of IUDI Youth.
And I am Michael Windler, and I am the Vice President of IUDI.
So this presentation's purpose is to cover our tutoring program and what will be expected of our volunteers that sign up for this.
So what is the program? This program deals with kids ages 5 to 16, and we are teaching them how to speak English as a second language. So we're basically tutoring them on ESL, if you know what that is, and homework help if they need it.
All right, the requirements, anyone can apply, but we need you to be active and involved, which will include like showing up to meetings for lesson planning and being diligent and consistent. So we are all going to learn along the way since there's a challenge of the language barrier and the time difference, but I'm sure that this can work out well for all of us. Every application will be approved by the IUDI board, so please make it authentic. I probably said that wrong, but
What are the requirements? Continued, you will be required to learn some basic French to be able to communicate with your student. I don't know much French. Sarah's been teaching me a little bit, even though I'm not that great, but you have to know the basics to be able to communicate with them, because you'll be showing them the word in English and in French so they can learn to associate those two words together as meaning the same thing. You'll be allowed to use Google Translate if you are confused, but don't rely on it. You want to be able to communicate quickly because you don't have much time to dilly-dally on your phone and try to figure out what a word means or how to say something. So try to remember things that you're going to learn in the training on Wednesday. You will also have some French translations in your lesson plan. If we think that you will need it for that week, we'll include it in the lesson plan, but we're not going to include like every French word in the lesson plan. So you do have to figure some things out and make sure you're pronouncing it right. Because sometimes if you pronounce something wrong, it means something completely different and you don't want to offend your kid.
yeah, and adding on to what Michael just said, a lot of the kids are some of the kids that will be signing up are older and they already know basic conversational English, so you won't really have to learn that much. So how will it work? We're meeting every Wednesday at 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and Saturday is 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. But I know this time might not be convenient for all of you, but it's because we have an 8-hour time difference. And tutors will need to submit a report to the IUDI Lounge, which is on our website, so you can see how well your kid's progress is doing. If you're with a partner, you can submit it together, I think.
Our class format will be broken down like this. The first part of class will be Sarah discussing the basics of what they're learning that day. So they will be having a lesson with her. She will be basically the teacher of the class. So she will be introducing them to the topics for that week. And then we will be putting everyone in breakout rooms and for the rest of the time. So 10 minutes will be used to review the lesson that Sarah discussed, and the rest of the time will be an activity that we decide. Most of the time we will have like lesson planning days where everyone can come up with activities, but for the first few times we will be making the activities that you will be using.
So, what will the breakout room look like? We are expecting that we're wanted to make 2 tutors per room because I think it would be helpful if there are 2 people, especially with the language barrier, and 1 student per room. I'll be popping in through each breakout room, and if you need help and you're not really communicating well with your student, just ask me or maybe if someone else speaks French to help.
So this is what our lesson plans will look like. This lesson plan is actually for our week 1, as it says day 1. So the sections will include objectives. So those are the objectives that they will be required to learn that week. And some of them will carry over to the next week. So don't think if you don't get to it, it's like a deal breaker, but those are just the ones that they will touch upon. Activities, so the activities include the main lesson, which Sarah will include, but you will have to be there for the main lesson so you know what they're learning. The breakout rooms with the tutors, and then homework. We will give them homework, or Sarah will be in contact with their parents and she will give them their homework so that they are up to date on everything that they are doing, and they keep reviewing. So it's like a regular class. And after class for tutors, that is where you submit your reports to the IUDI Lounge. For here, it says record struggles points. So you'll be writing down in the IUDI Lounge what they're struggling with in your activity that you performed that day.
And you can also include what you're struggling with as well. All right,
Okay.
Michael kind of covered this, and I did too. But we want you to use a journal to track your students' progress. And also, if you have any questions or things you want us to change about our format, because this is changing as we go, and we're going to change it to meet our needs. You will submit parts of it on Saturday to the IUDI Lounge, just so you know you were there and present, and that you interacted with your student / tutor. I don't know what they call it.
This is an example of what you could make. You know how, I don't know if many of you are in Apple, I don't know where this is going, but when we made the Google Classroom for our kids and stuff like that, we're basically going to be doing the same thing, but you can use the one that you use for Apple. I'm using a Canva one because I think they look prettier, but we'll have things to review, today's agenda, and the date in the corner. You don't have to have this, I just put that there. But notice how there's the word in English and the word in French, because they're still learning how to speak English. So you have to be able to, they have to be able to understand what they're going through. So you will be able to share your screen during the breakout rooms, I hope.
Adding on to that, you're probably going to have to keep your cameras on the majority of the time, because we're going to have to depend on visual learning. And so if you can get like a whiteboard or something that you can write on, and some flashcards that you could use, I know there's a lot of printables one. I might give you guys the resources for that. That would be helpful as well.
Yeah, and if we have flashcards that like specific flashcards that we require, then we'll like type them up and you can print them out. But I don't think there's any specific ones that we really care about besides the alphabet ones that will come later.
All right, so this is a QR code if you want to apply and join our program. We also have the links, so.
Okay, so this QR code is the application one. This is for the tutoring application. So if you want to be a tutor, this is the application you have to fill out. And then the next one, this is the IUDI Pre-Screen. This is if you're going to be a regular volunteer. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but you also have to fill this out if you're going to be a tutor, because if you're a tutor, you're also an IUDI volunteer.
Yeah, it's easier for us to give out hours for that, like service hours.
So you will also have to fill this out. And this is the IUDI Lounge. You are required to do all three because they each serve a different purpose. Okay, here's all the links if Ms. Wood like shares this PowerPoint with you and you like copy and paste. This one is for the tutoring application. This is the pre-screen one. This is the IUDI Lounge one. The reason why you have to do this is so you can submit your reports, and this syncs up with the software we use to collect hours. So it will, so if you register here, you'll be automatically registered on that website. So it'll be easier for you to collect hours.
All right, this is our remind to keep you updated and like give you the Zoom code if you don't prefer email or group chat. It also keeps you updated on our regular IUDIU volunteer activities and our weekly tasks.
Yeah, this we will most likely use for our regular volunteers, but we will have times where we'll use Remind for the tutoring program. And this is our Instagram, IUDIX Youth. If you want to follow us on there, it's very nice. Sarah is doing a little mini like lesson thing on there every so often called Information Overdrive. It's really informative. So if you want to learn a little bit about refugees, what was the other one that you did?
I think the first two are refugees, but our next one is about the End SARS movement in Nigeria.
Yeah, so they're just little things that learning about other things that are happening around the world. So thank you for your time.